But Kashmir remains our top focus because the situation in the valley remains tense for a fifth straight day. Over 30 people have been killed, 1,500 injured now in the violence that was triggered after the Hizbul commander Burhan Wani was killed last Friday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who returned from Africa, presided over a high-level meeting to take stock of the situation. Some areas of Kashmir are still under curfew, even as the Prime Minister has appealed for calm. It's our top story this evening.
PM Narendra Modi's homecoming amidst unrest in Kashmir for the fifth day in a row. Just hours after his arrival from a Whirlwind Africa tour, the PM took stock of the situation. Sources say that PM Modi, who presided over a high-level meet, gave a free hand to the state to deal with the unrest and pledged all help. The only unmistakable message that slain Hizbul poster boy Burhan Wani should be seen as a terrorist.
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने हमारा मार्गदर्शन किया और साथ ही साथ जम्मू कश्मीर की जनता से, वहां के अवाम से अमन और शांति की अपील की। उन्होंने ये भी आश्वासन दिया कि प्रदेश सरकार को स्थिति से निपटने के लिए हर प्रकार का सहयोग एवं सहायता उपलब्ध करवाई जाएगी।
कुछ युवा हाथ में लग जाते हैं तो ऐसी घटनाएं होती है और इसलिए हम सचेत तो ही है, लेकिन ऐसे लोगों को वक्त पर ही चुनकर इसके रोक लगाने की जरूरत होती है।
National Conference Chief Omar Abdullah, however, questioned Mehbooba's absence in the stock-taking meet.
She, more than anybody else, has to reassure the people that she is on top of the situation and is making every possible effort to return the state to normalcy at the earliest. That as the elected Chief Minister, it was her responsibility to inform the people as to what she was doing, not get one of her police officers or then one of her ministers to do it.
As Home Minister Rajnath Singh postponed his US trip for a security dialogue, Washington made a major strategic tilt, terming Kashmir India's internal matter. But despite best efforts, there was more violence in the valley. The death toll from clashes has surged past 30. Another 1,300 people have been injured, including 200 security personnel.
The death toll of people who have died in clashes has only gone up, and the injured are continuously coming to the hospitals at various places. At this moment, the government is facing questions and heat from the people as to whether they were prepared for a situation like this at all, and what really is their strategy to handle the situation before it goes beyond their control.
Pakistan, meanwhile, doing all it can to keep the pot boiling. Pakistan-backed terrorists attacked the police party in North Kashmir's Sopore.
The only way out of this problem is to address the problem politically, not militarily, and initiate engagement among all the stakeholders to the issue, that is India, Pakistan, and most importantly, the people of Jammu and Kashmir, with a view to resolve the issue once and for all.
At least 4 Lashkar suicide bombers are reportedly active in the valley. Trying to strike as security forces remain busy containing clashes. Some of the LET members had even attended Burhan Wani's funeral. The BSF also gunned down 3 Pakistani intruders trying to sneak inside India via the Shahpur post in Punjab's Ajnala. With Ashraf Wani and Shujaul Haq in Srinagar, Bureau Report, India Today.
And one of the fallouts of that meeting that the Prime Minister has convened is that the Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti, who was in mute mode, has finally broken her silence. Remember, Omar Abdullah last night on this program had attacked her for that silence. Today she spoke out and made some important points, particularly about the role of the army as well as of the youth who have taken to the streets. Listen in.
हासिल अगर हम देखते हैं आज तक तो हमारे पास उजड़े हुए घरों के बगैर कब्रिस्तानों के कब्रिस्तान भर गए हमारे, और कहीं ना कहीं हम इक्तिसादी हाल में भी बहुत ही बुरी तरह से पिछड़ गए हैं। हासिल कुछ नहीं हुआ। आज भी आप देखिए जिन लोगों की जान गई इसमें, मुझे मालूम है आज कई दिन तक उनके घर में बहुत भीड़ भाड़ रहेगी, बहुत लोग आएंगे, कुछ दिल से अफसोस करेंगे, कुछ दिखावा भी करेंगे। मगर अगर हम देखें, अगर हम हिस्ट्री को देखें कि आज तक जितनी भी मौतें हुई हैं, जितने भी लोग जहां बहक हुए हैं, उस वक्त कुछ देर के लिए, 4 दिन 5 दिन 6 दिन के लिए लोग आते हैं, हमसाया आता है, रिश्तेदार आता है, दूसरे लोग आते हैं, ताजियत करते हैं, हमदर्दी जताते हैं, मगर उसके बाद इन खानदानों का पुरसान हाल पूछने वाला कोई नहीं होता है। बहुत मुश्किल हालात में ये लोग दिन गुजारते हैं, जान से भी जाते हैं, और जो इनके जिंदगी का सरमाया इनका बच्चा होता है, जो लड़का होता है या बच्चे कहीं पर आ जाती है इसमें तो एक आध जगह बच्चियां भी इसमें शिकार हो गई, और भीड़ को आग लगाने वाला जो सामने आया था वो तो आग लगा के भाग गया, मगर उसके बाद जब एक्शन हुआ तो एक्शन में वो लोग नहीं मारे जाते हैं जो भीड़ को उकसाते हैं, बल्कि वो लोग मारे जाते हैं जो भीड़ के बहकावे में उन जगहों तक पहुंचते हैं जहां उनको शायद नहीं पहुंचना चाहिए था।
Mehbooba Mufti there trying to provide the healing touch, but I want to raise 5 big questions today. Has Mehbooba Mufti lost credibility in the valley? Remember, this is the same Mehbooba who would go to the homes of those who had lost their lives when stone throwing took place in 2010. My next big question, and I know this is controversial, but should Prime Minister Modi have cut short his foreign visit? The image of Mr. Modi playing drums while Kashmir was burning. My third big question, is bloodletting in Kashmir a Congress legacy? Did it start with the Congress and the National Conference in the years of the 80s and 90s? The other big question, are separatists simply today playing the Pakistan game? Where are these separatists? What are their credentials really now to speak for the people of Kashmir? Are they playing with fire? And number 5, can stone-throwing youth who take to the streets targeting our army claim innocence? These are 5 big questions that I want to raise, and then ask whether the Prime Minister and the Chief Minister can really provide the healing touch. Sudhanshu Trivedi is the national spokesperson of the BJP, Abhishek Manu Singhvi is the national spokesperson of the Congress, and Shujat Bukhari is the editor of the Kashmir paper Rising Kashmir. Appreciate your joining us. Sudhanshu Trivedi, would you concede the point, the first 2 questions that I raised, that Mehbooba Mufti and the Prime Minister needed to be more proactive in the last 5 days? The Prime Minister was on an Africa tour and Mehbooba Mufti was in mute mode. Should they both have been much more active in dealing with the situation rather than simply leaving it to Rajnath Singh ji to handle?
No, in my opinion, our government was fully sincere, active and objective in our approach. You know that Jammu Kashmir is technically under the Home Ministry. It is a department. And Sri Rajnath Singh even yesterday has talked to all the senior leaders and tried to appraise them of the situation and also sought some suggestions. And today itself, Rajnath ji has also postponed his US visit. Now today, as Prime Minister came, he has taken stock of the situation. He has issued an appeal. So as far as the government is concerned, utmost sincerity and objectivity is reflecting from the topmost level.
Sir, appeal
both
to
the Prime
whom?
Minister and the Home Minister.
Appeal to whom? I'm unable to understand. The fact is, has this come a little too late in the day? Till a month ago, Mehbooba Mufti wanted separatists to be jailed. Till a month ago, we were not sure whether we are going to have a dialogue with Pakistan or not. In December, you remember, the Prime Minister went out of his way to reach out to Nawaz Sharif. Now we are back to square one, blaming each other. I want to know, what credibility does this appeal have? And who are you appealing to?
You have asked a very good question. Appeal to whom? It is appeal to the real youth who has been instigated on the fanatic, baseless things. When I am saying instigated on the base of fanatic, baseless thing, I am saying with full responsibility, because those leaders who are instigating, their sons are studying in Europe, Britain and America. They are sitting in very safe havens. And those sons of Kashmir who are now marching ahead and losing their life based on those type of instigation and baseless, when they talk about the so-called referendum of United Nations, You know, in that referendum, it talked about the unified Kashmir. And in that referendum, there is no scope of so-called Azadi. Either go with India or Pakistan. So these type of slogans of Azadi, instigation and other things which these leaders use, and these youth become misled by those instigations. Prime Minister's appeal was focused to them, and so is the appeal of Mehbooba Mufti.
Okay, it's an appeal to the misled youth. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, will the Congress today be on the same page as the Prime Minister in appealing to those misled youth, to use the words? I saw a tweet that you put out where you made it very clear that the Congress also saw Burhan Wani as a terrorist. Am I clear that there is no ambiguity in the Congress's view as to how Burhan Wani is to be viewed? He is to be viewed in the Congress's view also as a terrorist, and the youth on the street as misled youth, as Sudhanshu Trivedi puts them?
Rajdeep, I hope you'll give me 2 minutes, because your earlier 2 questions and this question, fairly large number of questions. Let me answer this question first. The answer is an unequivocal yes. It just happens that I took the AICC briefing both yesterday and today. I've also, as you said, tweeted. Point number 1, Rajdeep, I hate to say this, but I do not think the BJP, I do not think the Congress ever received even half as much cooperation and solidarity as the Congress is now giving in opposition to the ruling party BJP. And I'm very happy that Mr. Rajnath Singh reached out, but even before has been very supportive as far as terrorism is concerned, as far as Burhan Wani is concerned. In fact, I've said in the briefing yesterday, and I repeated in many tweets, that you cannot have martyrs made out of terrorists. You cannot sacrifice your country's integrity on the ground of a terrorist being celebrated. That's number 1. Number 2, I'll be very brief, just give me half a minute more. However, your other 2 questions are very important. And I am saying this, that we have given unprecedented support, but that doesn't mean that we can abdicate our role of opposition. There is no doubt that the Prime Minister and Mehbooba Mufti should have been seen to be more proactive. What is leadership, Rajdeep? Leadership is leading from the front. The Chief Minister has spoken for the first time. I'm hearing all these nice Updeshwadi words now. The Prime Minister, I'm not going to go on form. I don't agree with those who say he should have left his trip and not gone to Africa. No, I'm not saying that. But there are 1,000 ways in which a person as powerful as the Prime Minister can make his concern known. You will notice that even the CCS met as late as yesterday. You also would know that the Prime Minister should have sent Mr. Doval earlier, and maybe he himself could have cut 1 day of his trip. I would not grudge him the fact that he can't really leave a foreign trip in the middle. But even from there, in remote control, he could have made his concern much clearer. Now today what is happening is, and last point, Rajdeep, this is very important. At the root of it lies a fundamental, irreconcilable difference. At the root of it, the point which all of us are ignoring is, and I'm not really saying it blame-wise, is that the Prime Minister heads a party which must run with their hare and hunt with the hound. It must try and wear its badge of nationalism on its sleeve. It is in coalition with a party which at the same time must try and pander or play to a constituency. Now this difference, this sometimes irreconcilable and clashing difference creates a problem. And that somebody has to address in crisis moments like this, in very strained moments like this.
Dr. Singhvi, it's interesting you're saying that. Remember, the Congress was also in alliance with the PDP. The question though, Shujat Bukhari, on the ground,
of course,
is that, no, 1 minute.
We don't tom-tom our nationalism in the false way.
No, 1 minute. On the ground, Shujat Bukhari, how is Mehbooba Mufti's appeal being seen? Here is someone who in the past would actually go and visit even the homes of militants. She was someone who believed that she would lend her shoulder to anyone who had died in the insurgency. Today, Mehbooba Mufti is Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir. How is she being viewed? Is she now being, in a sense, finding how difficult it is to actually govern and manage Jammu and Kashmir?
Rajdeep, I think I don't think that much impact would be of that appeal as of now, because we have lost 32 people in 4 days cycle of violence, and more than 1,500 people are injured. And I think there are more than 200 people who would not be able to have full life after they come out of the hospitals. So it's a very sad situation. And another thing which you will have to keep in mind is that there is a perception which has always been on the minds of the people in Kashmir, that any government in Srinagar, whatever it is a disempowered government, and people think that their strings are being pulled from New Delhi.
But Mehbooba Shujat, Mehbooba Mufti has been seen as someone who kept emphasizing the healing touch, or her father certainly did, and there was much hope once she came to power that she would respond to situations like this. Are you saying that she has lost credibility when she appeals today and she makes the point that why are youth coming out on the street asking parents to keep their youth within their homes? Has she lost credibility to raise that, to make that appeal?
See, Rajdeep, I think it is a different situation. What was in 2002 and what is now in 2016, because the dynamics of political situation in Kashmir has changed drastically after 2008, if you remember, when Amarnath land drought started and then 2010 started. And there has been this pattern of violence and there has been this pattern of public unrest. But this time, when you look at the situation, this time what happened in last 4 days is that it is something very different, in the sense that the trigger is not a civilian death, but trigger is the killing of the most wanted militant commander, where you had 2 lakh people attending his funeral in Tral. So I think it redefines the public unrest in Kashmir today. Number one. Number two, it will be very difficult for the government as of now to control the situation, because they will have to first be, accountable to the people as far as the killings are concerned.
Mehbooba has said that those policemen who used excessive force will be investigated. I mean, what more is the Chief Minister supposed to do?
I have every reason to be skeptical, because in the past so many years, in past 20 years, there have been so many inquiries. I mean, when 2010 unrest took place and 130 people were killed, when Umar Abdullah was the Chief Minister, the state government at that time also ordered a probe. There was an inquiry commission, but not a single person was held responsible for killing 130 people. That's number one. Another, you were talking about the Cabinet Committee on Security Affairs. I have been hearing the people, the ministers in the BJP government for the last 2 days. Nobody has talked about 32 deaths which took place in Srinagar. I have hearing the ministers only talking about that they will protect the Amarnath Yatra. They assure the Kashmiri Pandits that they will be safe. Nobody talked about that what the government was...
One minute, Sujat. No, 1 minute. 1 minute, you're making an important point which I want to take to you, Sudhanshu Trivedi. Shujat Bukhari is saying that the government of India, and this is a point that Abhishek Manu Singhvi is also trying to emphasize, is only today concerned about Amarnath Yatra, Kashmiri Pandits, and not about the fact that youth who have come out on the streets have been killed. And therefore seems to be hinting at the seeming divide that exists between the BJP's constituency and that of the PDP. Is this part of the problem? Whether we like it or not, the BJP's vision of nationalism and Mehbooba's vision of how to run Kashmir are at odds with each other. And therefore it is even more difficult for you to manage the situation. The Kashmiri Muslim doesn't trust the BJP and the BJP doesn't trust the Kashmiri Muslim. There is a complete absence of trust.
No, this is not factual. If you remember, on the very first day, Home Minister Rajnath Singh has expressed concern over the deaths and he has expressed sympathy. It is on record. So you cannot say that the BJP was not having any concern over whatever has happened. Second thing, it is not presumed or projected as if the security forces have stopped firing at the first instance. There is a established procedure that there should be a warning. Second stage, there will be certain lines which need to be crossed. Then third stage, there will be a light use of force. Fourth stage will be the using of the rubber bullets. Then comes the firing in the air. So it means if the mob is going on crossing all the 3, 4, 5 stages, then the situation becomes different.
Sir, but why am I not hearing from Prime Minister Modi what I heard from Prime Minister Vajpayee when he would speak of insaniyat? Where is the insaniyat? Forget about Burhan Wani. Forget about Burhan Wani, sir. He is a terrorist. What about insaniyat? Where is insaniyat at the moment in the valley? Where is the words that Vajpayee ji used? Why don't I hear those words from Narendra Modi?
That's why I am saying that this is the Vajpayee's term which was emphasized by Prime Minister, Kashmiriyat, Jamhuriyat and Insaniyat. मगर इंसानियत के लिए उधर से भी इंसानियत थोड़ी दिखनी चाहिए. आप हैवानियत का कंपैरिजन में इंसानियत लाने की कोशिश करेंगे तो हमारे लिए बहुत डिफिकल्टी होगी. दैट इज माय हम्बल सबमिशन दैट इंसानियत शुड बी established and should be practiced from both the sides. It's not possible Hayvaniyat from one side and Insaniyat from the other side.
You know, that's the point. Shujat, respond quickly. Hayvaniyat from one side. If there is going to be violence, if youth are going to go on the street, if they are going to almost romanticize violence, how do you expect any government to work within the parameters of Insaniyat? You cannot have humanity if one group is going to resort to terror and violence.
No, do you equate the, the protesters and the police and the paramilitary forces? Number one. Number two, Mr. Trivedi has been saying that there are steps to be followed. Is he sure that all the steps have been followed as far as the current situation in Kashmir is concerned? I mean, he's talking about the warnings, then you have to do this. Is he sure? He's in Delhi. I mean, is he sure that all that procedure, the standard operating procedure has been followed here?
No, but should youth who resort to violence, youth are resorting to violence, as the Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir has said today. Therefore, they are in a sense pushing themselves into this situation. Yes, Abhishek Manu Singhvi, you wanted to quickly respond.
See, very quickly, first of all, don't paraphrase me in the religious terms in which my friend has spoken about. What I was making was a point similar but quite different, which is that there is at the base a philosophical difference of approach in governance between the two coalition partners.